Hey, what's going on, guys? So Taiwo Awoniyi is all set to sign for Nottingham Forest after they met his release clause of £17.5 million. To say I'm shocked about this would be an understatement. As I've mentioned in previous videos, Forest are obviously a massive club, but the fact that they've pulled this off right after getting promoted after 23 years shows you the allure that Premier League football currently holds. He's leaving a side that were a whisker away from qualifying for Champions League football and got to the semi-final of the DFB Pokal. I fully expected a club in the mold of Leicester or West Ham to snap him up, as they have previously done with Patson Daka, or in West Ham's case are currently attempting to do with Armando Broja. Much like Dean Henderson, Forest are punching above their current weight, and full credit has to go to the owners for the ambition they're currently showcasing right from the word go. For those completely unaware of Awoniyi, he was signed up by Liverpool as an 18-year-old and spent 6 seasons contracted to them while going out on loan to clubs around Europe such as NEC, Ghent, Mainz, and most recently, of course, Union Berlin, who decided to sign him up for a reported 6.5 million quid last summer. While his numbers weren't particularly impressive up until then, he's really come to life over the last 12 months or so and finished the 6th highest scorer in the Bundesliga, with only Lewandowski, Patrick Schick, Haaland, Anthony Modeste, and Christopher Nkunku bagging more, and those are names wanted by the biggest clubs around Europe. His 20 goals and 5 assists across 43 appearances is the type of end product Forest will need to give themselves the best chance of beating the drop in what promises to be an absolutely mental year, with the added caveat of a mid-season World Cup. These performances have also earned him 4 caps for Nigeria, which is no mean feat given he's competing with names like Victor Osimhen, Emmanuel Dennis, Kelechi Iheanacho, and Odion Ighalo for a place in their 11. In terms of his style of play, the first thing that stood out is that he's built like a brick shithouse. This allows him to be utilized as a target man, whereby he wears out opposition centre-halves with his back to goal. However, he's also more than capable in terms of the other side of his game, where he drifts out wide and runs directly at fullbacks. The ability to switch effortlessly between these two seemingly contrasting styles makes him a handful to prepare against tactically. If the opposition are playing a high line, he likes to lurk on the shoulder of the last defender and drifts in and out of an offside position to give his marker a false sense of security. While this can backfire with VAR taking the mickey with the lines that they draw out, it pays dividends when it does come off and he ends up through on goal with a clear-cut one-on-one chance, which he inevitably buries. Although Steve Cooper likes his sides to play aesthetically pleasing football, Awoniyi's aerial ability could prove to be an incredibly useful asset when playing direct and will be a dream for Brennan Johnson, who could quite easily sneak in behind from one of his many knock-ons. Awoniyi's presence alone occupies the mind of defenses, which in turn creates space for runners off the ball to get into really promising positions. One area of his game that is a glaring weakness, however, is his creativity. He doesn't have a particularly impressive passing range, and that can often break down counterattacks when he's expected to play his teammates through himself. This limited ability and possession needs to be compensated by surrounding him with players who are good with the ball at their feet, which is why bringing James Garner, someone of his caliber, in will be absolutely pivotal moving forward. There's shades of Lukaku in his early days within this lad, and I want to make it clear that I mean that in the most positive sense possible, given the ridicule the Belgian is rightly facing for his antics at Chelsea. Solid finishing with both feet, deceptively quick, and has a natural instinct to get into really good positions. Unlike Lukaku though, his mentality is thankfully considered to be first-rate by all accounts, and Union Berlin sporting director Oliver Runhardt stated upon signing him, "His robustness, his dedication, and his unconditional willingness to learn and develop were the deciding factors for us to give everything to make this transfer happen." His former coach in Nigeria, Atiba Bankole, also had similar things to say. Awoniyi's mental attitude always stood out. Taiwo played like his life depended on it. He had that never-say-die attitude and worked harder than anyone else on the pitch. All in all, it appears that he's got a really good head on his shoulders and is more than ready to take on Premier League football. You never know how Bundesliga forwards' end products will translate to English football, as it's very hit or miss, but I think this fella will do well and I back him to hit double figures, which would be a solid yet unspectacular return, which Forest supporters would most definitely take right now. The fact that Forest had 6 players on loan last season during their promotion campaign showcases that getting bodies in is paramount, and the fact that the 2 coming through the door at this moment in time are of such high pedigree is an added bonus. Steve Cooper will fancy his chances of doing something special if he continues to be backed in this manner, and I, as well as many others, sincerely hope Forest have a great season ahead, something that their supporters richly deserve. Cheers for tuning in, guys. Now, unlike the video I made yesterday, I've actually seen plenty of this guy in action. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Please do like the video and consider subscribing if you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone, and have a great week ahead. Peace.